Zen Gordita.
Alright guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing that review of the Forza Motorsport 7 that I promised you guys. So, here it is up on the screen. It's just going through a sequence of reviewing a car that I was using. For most people who just pre-ordered the game, you're only going to have access to it on October the 3rd. If you pre-ordered it with the Ultimate Edition though, you're going to get access to it, or you got access to it actually, on the 28th at 9 p.m. I know everything was saying it'd be accessible on the 29th, but whenever I brought it up, it told me I had access as of 9 p.m., or I was going to have access as of 9 p.m. Unfortunately for me, I hadn't updated my Windows, so the game wouldn't download. It hadn't downloaded already. And I didn't understand why. It took me forever to figure out I needed to download Windows. So by the time 9 p.m. hit, I was just starting the download of Windows, or the download of the game. I had just finished the download of Windows. So come the next morning, or actually during the middle of the night, I woke up, realized the game hadn't downloaded. It had an error during the download, unfortunately. Wound up being my internet had gone out. So I had to wait until the morning. I didn't want to deal with anything. You know, you're in that sleepy mood and you're just, nope, don't want to deal with anything. Back to bed. That's it. So whenever the morning came, I fixed the internet problem, downloaded the game, and so as of the 29th, about 11 a.m., I started playing the game. I've been playing it since then, almost non-stop. It is extremely fun. Only things I can really complain about with the game are with the vehicles. It seems like your rear end tends to throw out extremely easily. I don't really care for that too much, but you know, maybe some people think it feels realistic. To me, it doesn't. I've created two vehicles that replicate vehicles I've had in the past. It's an Acura RSX Type S, just has an exhaust and an intake on it. I added a carbon fiber hood to it. I'll go ahead and show you those vehicles actually. So this is one of the main screens. Here's my garage. Start with the Acura RSX Type S. So like I said, I added a carbon hood. Otherwise, it's pretty much exactly identical to the vehicle I had. The power level is probably about similar. It has 223 horsepower, just slightly more, not too much more than stock. The other vehicle that I did was a Subaru WRX STI. I only had a WRX model, but I had built it to be more capable than an STI. I had a fully built engine, fully built transmission. This is as close as I can really replicate that car. I had roughly 500 crank horsepower. Their readings just say horsepower. I'm not sure if they do it in crank or wheel horsepower or whatever it may be. My car was making 400 to 450 wheel horsepower, which is a rough estimate of about 500 horsepower. Driving this STI, which I built to replicate as much as possible, you know, put a slight lowering suspension on it like mine had, intake, exhaust, big turbo, big intercooler, big injectors, all that stuff. Got the appropriate power level, and it feels about the same as the vehicle I have. When I don't have stability control on though, which is the main option I found that affects the realism of it, if I don't have stability control on, it's just too uncontrollable. That rear end comes out like I was talking about. With stability control, it feels so much like I am actually driving this vehicle or the other vehicle, whichever it was. I recommend using stability control. I don't see why you wouldn't. To me, it doesn't make the game realistic. Maybe some people think it does. I don't. Anyway, so with the game, if you pre-ordered it with the Ultimate Pack, you got the Fast and Furious Pack. So you get all these these two Subarus, the WRX STI, the 2016 model, and then you get the 2013 BRZ. Both look like great cars. The STI is the only one I've driven so far of the two. Actually, out of the whole Fast and Furious pack, that's the only car I've driven. It's a really good car. It handles really great. I only used it for a little bit. Like I said, the same thing with the stability control came into effect with that one also. But yeah, moving on. So we'll come back to the beginning. I'll start from the A's and move on. Show you the vehicles you get with the game had you bought the pre-order or had you bought the Ultimate Edition pre-ordered. So here's the more of the Fast and Furious vehicles. You get the the Chevy Corvette. Beautiful car. I haven't driven it yet. I can't really speak to it. You get this cool little thing, the Fleet line from the beginning of the Fast and Furious movie. I don't know how it's going to perform. Don't expect too much from it. It'll probably be fun, hopefully, though. Moving on, you get the Dodge Demon. It's an upgraded Challenger, maxed out Challenger, really. I haven't driven it. Like I said, the only car I've driven from the Fast and Furious pack is the STI. Sorry if you hear my daughter growling. She's over here being a monster. And then you get the Dom's souped up Ultra Charger that he had with the big jet engine looking thing, whatever it was on the back of it and all that stuff. In the movie, in that, I don't know if anyone's seen it or if they remember from the movie, but in that scene where they have all the cables and all Dom's friends are trying to stop him and they're holding him still, and they're oh, he's got this much power. In the end, one of them winds up going, oh, try 5,000 horsepower.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
Like that. The game only reflects 707 horsepower for the build, unfortunately. I don't know where that got lost in translation, that whole 5,000 horsepower. They probably just tried to make the car something actually controllable. Because at 5,000 horsepower, there's not really much control to a vehicle. That would be quite the wild ride, I'd imagine. Moving on, none of these Fords, these are Fords I got on my own through the game as I've gone so far. Moving on, though, there's the Hoonigan pack. There are more Fast and Furious cars. I'll get to them in a second. This is just going by maker. All the Hoonigans fall into one category. So you get this Hoonigan Holden Commodore. I haven't driven any Hoonigan except for the Hoonicorn itself. As you can see, these are all the vehicles down on the side, though. But the Hoonicorn, to me, is the vehicle that mostly attracted me to the Hoonigan pack that I wanted here. Unfortunately, this car is extremely insane. It is just too wild to drive. I can't handle it. I tried for a little bit. It is just, if you go full throttle, you have no control. There's nothing there for you. You have to really have good throttle control, which with the pedal setups, I personally don't have the best throttle control just because my driving position isn't really what I'd want. The degrees my feet have to bend as I'm sitting here, not on the throttle, having my foot barely on it. My foot's like almost bent all the way back as far as it can. With a better driving position, I'd probably be able to get better throttle control. But that's kind of hard to do with a desk setup like I have. But I wish they would have made this car with less power. Hopefully I can go in and tune it down to be a more reasonable power level, something that I can actually drive. Anyways, moving on, that's the Hoonigan pack. You get this Jaguar F-Type from the Fast and Furious pack. You get the Local Motors Rally Fighter from the Fast and Furious pack. You get this Mercedes GTS. And then you get, I believe there's one more. Yes, this Plymouth GTX. Those are all the vehicles you get from the Fast and Furious pack. So if you pre-ordered the game with the Ultimate Edition, you'd get this Hoonigan pack and this Fast and Furious pack. And you're probably enjoying these right now. If you didn't, unfortunately, you probably won't get this Fast and Furious pack unless you pay extra for it. If you got the Ultimate Edition or the pre-order, these are the types of packs you're going to get. You can also pay extra and probably access these packs. I wouldn't recommend it. They're more, just collector, just for fun. Other than that, I don't really see these vehicles being too much of a vehicle to have in the game. So let's move on. Alright guys, so here are the screens that we have whenever we enter the game. This is the home screen. From the home screen, you can continue your career. You can choose multiplayer or one of many other options that they have down here. One big thing that you're going to have to deal with are these prize crates. With the pre-order or the Ultimate Pack, I don't know which one it was part of, but you got a bunch of prize crates, and as you go through the game, you'll get free prize crates. Prize crates, not prize crates. What am I talking about? So the prize crates cost credits, just like everything else. One thing people are fearful of is that these prize crates will be something that will become a pay-to-play thing, where you can pay cash money to purchase these. Hopefully it doesn't go that way. I mean, Maybe some people like that. To me, I don't. That takes away from the game a little bit. Everything in the game should be something that you purchase with credits built in the game and earned in the game, not something that you pay for with your own money. You already paid, what, 60, 70 bucks for the game. Why pay any more? That's how I feel. If you want expansions, like earning extra cars that they created, that they put worked into later to make these vehicles, I can understand that. That's what I go for. I will buy an expansion like that. But buying a prize crate that gives me things I should already have access to in the game, nothing new to the game, I don't see a purpose in paying cash money for that. Using credits, yeah, sure. But so these crates have different items that come within them, whether it be gear, cars, mods, badges, all types of different things. There are different levels of crates in the game. But so let's go on back. I'll show you some of the things. I think I've won vehicles and mods and gear from the crate so far. The mods, let's find, there they are. So the mods, what they do is they add certain aspects to the game. So if you, for this VIP reward that I got here, and in the bottom corner you'll see it has uses there with a number of dots. Those dots are the amount of uses you have. I'm imagining one will go away each time you use them. I haven't used one yet. As you can see, it says it improves your race rewards. You get 100% bonus on the credits, so you get 100% more credits than what you got originally whenever you use this mod. So that's the type of things mods do for you. We got a 50%, 50%, 30, 40. They all have different things you have to accomplish to earn these bonuses. This one right now that I'm on says place third or better. There's perform 2 good corners. There's all types of different things. And then some mods, this one adds 500 more XP if you do, it adds 500 XP to whatever you get in the race. You use APS on normal steering. You get 40% bonus in the credits, and you get 500 XP more. Different things like that. So that's the type of things you can expect from a mod. That's about it for those. From the home screen, you can also go and change your driver gear. There's a bunch of options that you have. I'm actually going to go ahead and change mine. I'd been wanting one of these ones with the bandana on. I'll go for that one, sure. And then there's Forzathon. I'm imagining all these things that say coming soon, like the Forzathon, and there's a few other things. I'm imagining that hopefully those things will become active on or shortly after October 3rd, when the main official release is of the game. Anyways, here we have the single player menu. Oops, sorry about that. We have the single player menu. From here you can access your Forza Drivers Cup, which is basically the campaign. You can go to free play, test out the vehicles you've made or have. And then there's the rivals section, which you can go and compete with some things. Then we got the multiplayer section. This is online play type of stuff. There's leagues that will be coming soon. That'll be another thing. Hopefully October 3rd or soon after we'll have access to that. And then there's a bunch of other things you can do from there. Then we got our cars menu where you can access our car collection. The car collection is a tier-based thing. You gain access to these cars as you upgrade your garage. So each car you add to your garage adds a certain amount of points. So like this Challenger or Charger that I'm on right now, it adds plus 25 points, as you can see in that upper corner there. All those points add up, and as you see on the left-hand side of the screen, the Tier 2 progression, or the Tier 2 progress, it says I have 1,280 points out of 1,400 points. Once you reach that 1,400 points, you upgrade to Tier 3, which will get you this, and so on and so forth. Once you reach 4,000, you get Tier 4. Once you reach 8,000, you get Tier 5. Now, some of the cars you will earn throughout the game, of course, are in tiers above what you can access as it is at that time. So, like, I earned this Ford Gymkhana from doing a race against Ken Block in the original World Cup, or the Forza Cup series. So I've got that car. I won that car through a race. So if you win a car through a race, you gain access to it. Otherwise, you have to reach that tier before you can go in and purchase or win that vehicle in other means. So we'll go on and move on to the. You got your progress screen here. There's a marketplace and all types of stuff going on there. But let's move on. I'll show you some actual gameplay. Coming to the Forza Driver Cup, there are all these different categories that you're under, or different classes, whatever you want to call them. Right now I'm in the Seeker. I have earned access to the Breaker, but I'd like to finish a whole series before I move on. As you can see, I've already completed the top row there and the bottom row. I'm started the middle row here, so each race will have 4 different races within it. So this road racing one, I've already completed one race, and I'm on to the second one. I'll go ahead and continue on with that. The car I'm using here is the Chevy Camaro Super Sport Coupe Forza Edition. It's just a specially made model for the Forza Edition here. So the restrictions that we have within this class here, we have a 475 point class restriction, tire width max of 255 or 265, and power level max is 450. I've got 399 and 255 for my tire width, tire compounded street. Yeah, so let's go on into the race here. You can purchase other cars, build them to be that class restriction worthy and all that, but I'm just going to use the car that was provided to me for free. These cars were given to you through as you go on. So this is one big feature I really like of this. Previously I was playing Forza Horizon 3, and before you entered the race, all you really had access to was tuning your vehicle. This gives you an access to a lot more things. You can access your mods, you can buy new prize crates if you want to get more prize crates and get more mods before you go into a race. You can access your card collection. I don't really know what that would do for you. I haven't done it, so I don't know yet. And then you can go to your setup. From here you can change your assists and all that stuff. I'm actually going to set my car to manual with clutch and then set my simulation to on. I like having the simulation on, so if I do mess up I can fix it right then and there instead of saying, hey, next lap I'm going to fix this. Do it this way. I can go ahead and do it right then. Also, in case someone decides to, you know, be a little aggressive, I can go ahead and fix that right then too. So I already have limit aggression on for the drivers themselves. They are still extremely aggressive. They are constantly knocking you out. I'm only using average drivers, which is surprising because usually, so like on Forza Horizon 3 or FH3, whatever you want to call it, I usually was racing in the upper tiers of driver tar or driver, whatever you want to call it. I would race usually the expert in such drivers. Here I'm racing the average and I'm still being challenged above average, and I barely even win a race. So right now I'm doing average until I get more accustomed to the game itself. One thing on the assist menu here, I have the stability control on. Without stability control, I think I talked about it earlier, if you don't have it on, your rear end's going to throw out every time. It's hard to control these vehicles without the stability control. So this is the loading menu. I'll come back to you and show you what it looks like once the load is done in a second here. Alright guys, so the load has finished. This is the transfer from the loading screen to the right before the race screen. Now, as you can see, the menus are basically the same right before the race. You have all the same options pretty much. Change it up a little bit. I'm don't want to, but I am going to add in force feedback. Hopefully I can have it at a level that is not going to disturb the mic too much. I'm gonna go, let's try 30%. And let's save that. Alright, let's start that race over. Alright guys, so we're in the race now. I'm using the manual setup with the clutch. Have very low force feedback on. If I have too much force feedback, the mic actually starts picking it up. But without force feedback, it is just too soft, too light on the steering. And it's... Oh no! Way too much gas. Let me rewind that. But without the force feedback, it's too soft. It's not realistic at all. It just... The steering wheel just floats all over the place, and it just feels horrible. So I've turned on a little bit, and I'm hoping that the mic doesn't pick up too much. More than likely, it will still pick it up. Earlier, I had some other videos I made, and the force feedback was just ridiculously loud. I am using the G29 steering wheel from Logitech. I do have the shifter that Logitech sells separately. I had to get the H pattern shifter. I cannot do paddle shifters, which the G29 does come with. But I'm not a paddle shifter fan. I have to have the H pattern shifter. Which is, if you're wondering what the H pattern shifter is, it's just the normal manual transmission shifter that you usually see. It is only a 6-speed. I have seen some vehicles have 8 speeds, which I don't know how that's going to work out. When I drove those vehicles, oh god, like I was saying, the drivers, they are very aggressive. This guy took me out for no reason. But so I don't know how the 8-speed shifting is going to work, since I only have a 6-speed shifter. I'll figure that out eventually, I'm sure, as I get into some of the other more performance vehicles, more modern ones at least. Came into that turn way too hot. So one thing you'll notice in this game is the damage is actually extremely involved. So if I hit something too much, I am going to damage my suspension. If I hit a wall, I'm going to damage all types of things. If I don't shift right, I'm going to grind the clutch too many times, and it will cause a engine or a transmission problem, and the car will not function properly. So everything is taken into account during the races. They went all out whenever they created this. There we go. Come on, come on, come on. Only 5 places left. Go ahead, bud. Sorry, my boy's asking me for mac and cheese. Let's go ahead. Yeah, 1 second, bud. 1 second. Let me pause this game and help him out. There you go. I hate it. I always pause when I'm in a turn. Gosh, why do I do that to myself? Let's go ahead and rewind that so I can renegotiate that whole thing going on there. Coming out of the turn, give it that throttle, but not too much because we are in this rain. The rain does change things a lot. You do start sliding around a lot more. So you do have to completely change. Hey, oh, jeez. Oh. Let's rewind that, guys. I gave it way too much throttle out of that turn. Like I said, the rain changes how this game functions, or how your car functions. So with a rear-wheel drive coming out of a turn, that's the last thing you want to do is floor the throttle. But that's the first thing that comes to my mind, because I'm an idiot. Uh-oh, here comes my little monster. got too distracted. Sorry, guys. Not really driving for purpose here. I'm more of just driving to demonstrate the game. You know, I don't want to... Not actually playing too hard right now. But since I am in campaign mode, or whatever you want to call it, I do still want to try to podium. If I can. I got one lap to make it up. It's going to be extremely hard. Too much, I'm about to lose it. No! Hey! I swear, if this was a Subaru, this would be a completely different race. If I had something nice and all-wheel drive. This blower gets right in my sights. Sometimes I can't even tell where I'm going. And I do things like that. I messed it up. There we go. Alright, third will be good enough for me. I'm not really too concerned with it right now. I think I got first last race. So they've got to catch up anyways. There we go. Alright, I'm still in the lead. That's all that matters for me. Let's move on to race number 3. As you can tell, guys, the graphics are extremely good. There's so much they put into this. It's a really, really good racing game. I'd say it's one of the best. Now, I haven't played too much of Project Cars. I know that's supposedly one of the best. Or, there's another one. I can't remember it. It's like Assetto Corsa, I think it is. That one's supposed to be really good. I don't know how this game compares to those because I haven't played those games. For me, though, this is probably one of the most realistic I've played. Whenever Gran Turismo comes out with their next installment, I'll go ahead and get that. I do have a PS4. I'm a PC and PS4 gamer right now. I've always liked PlayStation better. I don't know why. Maybe when the 1X comes out, I might get a 1X. I'm not sure. But once PlayStation comes out with their new Gran Turismo, I'll go ahead and test that against this, see how it compares. I'm sure the graphics won't be as good because, you know, the console graphics tend to not be as good as the PC graphics. But I'll test those out. If there's any questions you guys want, any type of specific footage you want from this game, just let me know. I'll try to get it up for you. As always, like and subscribe, just like any old YouTube channel. That's the only way these things keep going, is likes and subscribe. So, you know, I'm starting off pretty early here. What's up, mama? What's up, baby girl? Little girl's talking to me. I think she needs some attention. But like always, these channels run on likes and subscribes. It's the only thing that keeps them going. So, I'm a new one. Help me out if you want. You don't got to. You know, I'll learn. I'll adjust things. If there's tips you got, if there's pointers, let me know what type of things you guys want to see next. I might do more Forza stuff as I get into it more. I do have Ghost Recon, the Wildlands or whatever it's called. I have Battlefield 1. Got all the Battlefield games. What else do I got? Pretty much any game you want, name it. I'll go in and I'll try to do some type of review for it. PlayerUnknown Battleground I know is big. I'll probably go ahead and get that and start doing some stuff with that. But yeah, just let me know, guys, and I will do my best to get you what you want. Eventually, whenever I do get enough subscribers and likes and all that stuff and have enough of a fan base, maybe I'll start doing some draws or something, some type of thing to give back to the community. For helping me out on building my channel. Until then, though, just keep subscribing, keep watching. Let me know what type of stuff you want to look out for, and take it easy, guys. I highly recommend you get this game, though. If you haven't already, kind of sucking. But if you haven't already pre-ordered this game, I highly recommend it. If you want to wait till it goes on sale, I mean, go ahead and do that too. I'm sure that would be much worth it if you could find it on sale eventually, which, I mean, I'm sure you will one day. It might take a few months. But it is definitely worth the 60, 70 bucks, whatever it is, for it, if you're looking for a good driving game. So go ahead, check out Forza Motorsport 7. Let me know what you want to see next. If there's anything specific in the game you want to see, just let me know. Alright guys, take it easy. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.